Hey everybody, how's it going? So, this is not a drill. This is not a rumor. And no, this is not some distant war we can just ignore anymore. The United States has just bombed Iran. Not a surgical strike, not a warning shot. This was a coordinated military action carried out with full presidential authority. And it has just sent shockwaves across the entire planet. And we won't believe what's going to happen next. From global oil markets in free fall to protests erupting in US cities to the terrifying whispers of World War III suddenly feeling not so far-fetched. America just crossed a red line. And we need to talk about why and who is behind it. So Donald Trump said on his Truth Social, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan." I know I butchered all 3 of those names, but that's alright. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He said, now is the time for peace. What the fuck is he talking about with peace? How it started, the strike that shook the world. So, what exactly happened? At 4:14 a.m. local time in Tehran, multiple explosions lit up the Iranian sky. According to Pentagon sources, the U.S. launched a coordinated strike targeting Iranian military infrastructures, including radar facilities, weapons storage depots, and what officials are calling command and control nodes. Iranian state TV immediately confirmed casualties. Hospitals in western Iran are overwhelmed, and images are already emerging from civilians caught in the chaos. The official story, according to the White House, this was a necessary response to continued Iranian aggression in the Strait of Hormuz. There's a reference to Iran allegedly harassing U.S. Navy vessels near key oil shipping lanes. But off the record, insiders are saying this was political. That President Trump, in what many believe is a re-election Hail Mary, gave the green light to the bombing campaign that military advisors warned would provoke full-scale retaliation. The political motivation, is that a distraction or a strategy? Let's not pretend this happened in a vacuum. At the exact moment the first bombs fell on Iran, Trump's legal troubles back home were boiling over. Multiple indictments, ongoing trials, and a collapsing coalition of MAGA loyalists, scrambling to contain a weave of GOP scandals. So ask yourself, was this really about national security, or was it about political survival? Because if there's one thing we've learned from history, from Nixon to Bush to Reagan, is this: when American presidents are concerned at home, they tend to go to war abroad. And this time, the stakes are apocalyptic. Iran responds, threats retaliation, and red alerts. Iran's response was immediate and terrifying. Within hours, the Ayatollah issued a televised system vowing severe vengeance against the United States and its allies. Missile systems have been activated across southern Iran. Pro-Iranian missiles in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon have gone into what one analysis called full mobilization mode. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has ordered all non-essential personnel to evacuate. Tel Aviv is on high alert, and oil prices probably going to be skyrocketing. But that's not even the scariest part. They are now credible intelligence reports that Iran could target U.S. military bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, and even Diego Garcia. This is no longer a one-off strike. This is the beginning of an escalation cycle. The American people, they're divided and in the dark. Meanwhile, what's happening here at home? Mass confusion. Protests in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago erupt within hours. A new anti-war movement is already taking shape. Veterans are sounding the alarm, and Congress split down the middle. Some Democrats are accusing Trump of bypassing congressional approval entirely. Some MAGA Republicans are cheering him on, calling the bombings a strong message to American enemies. But the truth? The American people didn't want this. Poll after poll showed overwhelming opposition to another war in the Middle East. Yet, here we are. The world reacts. The United Nations has called for an emergency session. China has issued a statement condemning the strike and warning of grave consequences. Russia's foreign minister called the bombing an act of war. France and Germany are urging de-escalation, but perhaps most notably, Israel has quietly moved into a war-footing posture. Thousands of reservists calling up, Iron Dome missile defenses deployed, and Israeli officials, through silent publicity, are reportedly bracing for retaliatory strikes from Hezbollah. We are watching the first dominoes of a region war fall in real time. Here's what military experts fear the most. 1. A second strike. If Iran retaliates, even symbolically, Trump could respond with even greater force. Think bunker busting bombs. Think cyber attacks. Think air superiority campaigns. Number 2. The draft. If this becomes a sustained conflict, selective services could be back on the table. The Pentagon has already quietly updated internal readiness plans. Number 3. Terror threats. Iranian-linked actors could activate cells abroad, including in Europe and even in the USA. A global recession. With oil prices spiking, shipping routes disrupted, and economic fallout could be a catastrophe. This isn't speculation. This is trajectory. And right now, we are on it. Look, no matter where you stand politically, no matter who you voted for, no matter what you believe about Iran, you should be terrified right now. Because once the bombs start falling, once the cycle of violence begins, it doesn't end neatly. It doesn't resolve in a simple press conference. It doesn't play out like a movie. It ends in body bags. It ends in oil fires. It ends in decades of trauma we never recover from. So if you've ever wondered what the tipping point looks like, what the moment before everything changes feels like, you're living in it right now. Don't look away. Don't tune out. And don't stay silent. Because silence is how wars become forever. If you value independent voices bringing you the truth, not government propaganda, subscribe now, leave a comment, share this with somebody who still thinks wars makes us safer, and stay loud, stay awake, and stay human.